Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in my previous classes, we learned about many aspects of molecular biology, and in this class, we'll be learning about more topics of molecular biology like what do you mean by non-genetic RNA and what are the different types of replication of DNA, that is transcription and translation. So let's go in our way. So firstly, we'll be dealing with the topic that is non-genetic RNA. So what do you mean by non-genetic RNA? Non-genetic RNA is not a proper terminology here. Why we call that as non-genetic RNA is nothing but it is not a stable genetic material. When you have a comparison between DNA as well as RNA, DNA will be a more stable genetic material, hence we can call RNA as non-genetic RNA. So, as we know, RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. And we got three different types of RNA. What are they? They are like rRNA, tRNA and mRNA. What do you mean by rRNA? rRNA stands for your ribosomal RNA, and tRNA stands for transfer RNA. What do you mean by mRNA? It stands for your messenger RNA. These are the three different types of RNA. They are your rRNA, tRNA and mRNA. They can be called as well ribosomal RNA, transfer RNA as well as well messenger RNA here. So what is the function of ribosomal RNA? There is a function in translation. Translation as a chamber for synthesis of amino acids. So this rRNA, they are found usually in the chloroplast or nothing but your in the cell they are found. They are one of the organelles of your cell here. And what is the main function of your ribosomal RNA is that they help in translation. They act as a chamber for synthesis of amino acids. This will be seen in the next part of our video here. So what do you mean by tRNA? So transfer RNA. What is the function? It is the translation of your mRNA into proteins. The function of your tRNA is to translate the whatever the information which is found in your mRNA into the protein form. That is the function of your tRNA, or it will be producing the proper amino acid responsible for the codon found in case of your mRNA. So what do you mean by codon here? A codon is nothing but, let's take an example of a strand of DNA. It's a strand of DNA consisting of various nucleotides. You know there are various nucleotides here, and let's take an example. Green, pink, orange. Then orange, pink, green. So these things are called as your nucleotides, and a pair of nucleotides can be called as your codons here. So usually we call that as triplet codon. So this we have seen in case of our genetic code. When I was teaching about genetic code, I told you about triplet codon nature. So all the nucleotides are usually paired in a 3 in number. That 3 pair of nucleotide can be called as what? Codon here. So this particular tRNA will transfer or translate the language of the codon into protein here. And what is the next one? That is mRNA. What is the function of mRNA? The function of mRNA, as it is a messenger RNA, that is translation, or you can write as translate also. Translate the information from DNA to RNA. As in my previous video, I told you about central dogma of molecular biology. That is nothing but DNA is formed into your RNA. That is again literally formed into the of your proteins here. The replication will be undergoing by the process called as transcription here, and here it is a translation here. Here with the reference to these two processes, what we get is the DNA. The genetic material found in the DNA will be translated to that of your RNA. That is called as the process of transcription here. That will be done by your messenger RNA. Whatever the genetic information that has been taken from the DNA will be converted into RNA in the form of mRNA itself here. So that is about mRNA here. Again, when the mRNA is used in this procedure to the formation of proteins, in the procedure called as translation, whatever the mRNA you got in transcription will be used as a template for the production of proteins in the procedure called as translation with the help of remaining two types of RNA, that is your tRNA as well as rRNA here. So if you want a proper view of this thing, you will be understanding now as we will be explaining the topic, that is transcription as well as translation here. So when they ask a topic about non-genetic RNA, when you get arise a question about non-genetic RNA, you have to write about what is RNA. You have to just abbreviate the RNA, and you have to write on the different types of RNA. That is nothing but your mRNA, tRNA as well as your rRNA, and what are their functions here. And now we will be moving on for our next important and interesting concept, that is your transcription. So what do you mean by transcription? Transcription is a process where the genetic information which is found in DNA will be transferred or translated into mRNA. So what do you mean by transcription? The process where the DNA or the genetic information which is found in DNA will be translated into mRNA. That is called as your transcription here. DNA to RNA. This is called as transcription here. So what is this process of transcription and how will this transcription occur here? If the transcription has to occur, it occurs in three stages. That is nothing but your initiation, elongation, third one is termination. These are the three different stages in which the process of transcription occurs here. So before understanding these stages, we will go with a brief structure of your DNA. So what is the structure of your DNA? A DNA is a double helical structure, or as defined by Watson and Crick, use it as staircase model. It is in the form of a spiral staircase here. The DNA is found in the spiral staircase manner here. So it will be having a 5' end as well as a 3' end and an anti-parallel strand. So if there are two strands, one strand is with 5' end to 3' end, other strand will be having about 3' end to 5' end. Both the strands of a DNA are anti-parallel to each other. So if there is a initiation has to occur here, there is a region called as promoter region, or this can be called as your ORI site. According to few others, they will call it as ORI site also. This ORI site plays a very important role. This is the site, or this is the region from where this particular process of transcription will start here. So how it will start from the promoter region? There is an important compound called as DNA polymerase. What is a DNA polymerase? It's an enzyme. DNA polymerase is an enzyme which is essential for the process of a complete transcription. within the absence of this particular DNA polymerase, there will be no transcription at all here. So if a transcription has to initiate, there should be a promoter region to which this particular DNA polymerase will go and bind. Let's have the structure. So let this be your DNA, and let's say this is your promoter region. This is your promoter region, and here the enzyme called as DNA polymerase will attach itself. Whatever you find in case of your orange color, here it can be defined as what? DNA polymerase. The DNA polymerase will get attached to the region. So this region can be called as your promoter region here. So the DNA polymerase enzyme has attached itself to the promoter region or the initial region. So this is what happens in case of your initiation. So there should be a region called as promoter region to which your DNA polymerase attaches here. Okay, this is the first step of your transcription. What is the next step? The next step is elongation. So how will this elongate? So what we want? We want here RNA. That is preferably said as mRNA will be formed from the top of your DNA template here. So what is the structure of your mRNA? The structure of mRNA is always single stranded. So this will be a literal structure of your tRNA. Sorry, mRNA. So here, once there is an initiation, there will be an unwinding of your DNA. Once this particular enzyme called as DNA polymerase attaches to the region of initiation or the promoter region, there is another enzyme called as helicase enzyme that acts on the promoter region and unwinds the DNA. It is winding position will be unwinded to form two strands here. That has been written here. This is one strand, that is from here 5' end to 3' end will be one strand, and here other one 3' end to 5' end will be another strand here. Due to the function of enzyme helicase, there is an unwinding of your DNA here. Once this is unwinded here, whatever the nucleotides which are found here will be found like this. Am I right? So when you unwind this particular DNA here, you can find the nucleotides will be separated in the form of a zip. So this can be called as a replication fork. Whatever the structure you find here, that will be called as a replication fork. So once this particular replication fork is formed here, there is with the help of this particular enzyme called as DNA polymerase, it starts to synthesize the complementary bases. To understand complementary bases, let's have an example here. Let's take what are the four different bases we have got, that is A, T, G and C. These are the four different bases we have got here. Out of this ATGC, A always pairs with thymine and G always pairs with cytosine with 3 hydrogen bonds, whereas adenine with thymine always with 2 hydrogen bonds. This is called as what? Chargaff's rule. Adenine always pairs with that of thymine and guanine always pairs with that of cytosine. But in case of RNA, always this particular thymine will be replaced by uracil. So if a DNA is having A, it will be coded to U in case of RNA, T in case of DNA here. So whatever the bases which are found in this DNA, they will get a complementary base here. Let's take an example. A base which is complementary to this one, like this. In this form, there is a formation of a template here. This template is nothing but your mRNA. Whatever the template which is found here, that is formed here as a complementary base for the various nucleotides of your DNA can be called as mRNA here. This is what happens in your elongation. The movement of DNA polymerase. Next one is production of or synthesis of RNA template. This is what happens in case of your elongation. In case of initiation, promoter is on OR acid and DNA polymerase will be attached here. And next step, that is elongation, it moves to the end, that is from 3' end to the 5' end. And always remember, your mRNA will always be formed from the 3' end to the 5' end only. It will not go from 5' end to the 3' end, but it always happens from this 3' end to the 5' end only. Remember that one. And what is the last step? That is your termination. That will happen only at the formation of a terminated codon. So, in case of our genetic code, we learned about an initiator codon and then terminator codon. When there is a codon, that is called as terminator codon approaches. It approaches your DNA polymerase, the complete process of your transcription will be stopped at that point of time. Okay, when there is a terminator codon or terminator gene, then that will be stopped there. The process will be stopped there, and again the process continues at the starting of your the OR acid, that is called as your promoter region here. So when there is a starting of your terminator codon, the complete process will be stopped there and it will be released. And whatever it is formed here, the mRNA will be used for the next procedure that we are going to discuss here, that is translation. So remember, in the termination point, we will be having your mRNA. You will be having a mRNA having the code from DNA. Code from DNA. Here, whatever the information that's in DNA will be copied to your mRNA, and the mRNA will be a product of this complete process called as transcription here. So here, this will be formed, a replication fork and a formation of your mRNA will be done here. This is about the procedure called as transcription. And now, we will be going for the next process, that is called as your translation. The process is called as translation. What do you mean by translation? The process of RNA is completely translated into protein language. So whatever the information that was taken from DNA to the mRNA, that same information will be converted or translated or transcribed to the information of your proteins here. That procedure is called as what? Translation. If a translation has to occur, there are three important components. They can be written as ribosomal units. That is a 50S ribosome and a 30S ribosome are required. These are the requirements. First requirement is your ribosomal units and second one is your tRNA. There is a requirement of your tRNA and lastly we require the mRNA. So from where you are extracting this mRNA? This mRNA is the product of your transcription. Whatever you are found in your transcription, the end part of your transcription will be used in case of your translation. Again here, the complete procedure of your translation occurs in three steps. First one is initiation. Second one, elongation. Third one is termination. So before understanding this, we will go for the setup, how it will be seen. E stands for exit, exit site. Second one, P stands for peptidyl site, and A stands for attachment site. So remember this. This will be the setup for your translation. As I said, these three are required here. So first one, we'll take the example of the ribosomal units. Whatever see here, these two are called as what? Ribosomal units here. And next one, that is what? tRNA. There is a presence of a tRNA here. This will be a tRNA found here. And next one is what? mRNA. So just look at this. Whatever the mRNA which you have got as a end product of your process of transcription will be taken down in the smaller ribosomal unit, and you will be having your larger ribosomal unit above, and you have got a tRNA here. So as I told, all the three requirements have been placed in the apparatus here, and you have got three more sites. This one, a site called as E, a site called as P, and a site called as A. E site is called as exit site, P site is called as peptidyl site, and A site is called as attachment site. These three sites play a very important role. And once, first about initiation. How will the process of your translation initiate here? It initiates with the excuse me, with the initiation of a gene called as AUG. Whatever the nucleotides which you find here, out of them, if one of it is having AUG, this will be called as what? Start codon. Or GUG is also called as the start codon. Until and unless there is no AUG or GUG, this start codon is not available, the process of translation will never start at all. Once there is a codon called as AUG here, the process of translation starts here. Once there is started, what do you mean by AUG? This particular codon, AUG, codes for an amino acid called as methionine. methionine. This is particular amino acid which is responsible for a codon called as AUG. So all the codons are responsible for production of a particular amino acid when they are transcribed by that of tRNA. Whatever we have the mRNA will be having this nucleotides, and that nucleotides will be having certain genetic information in them, and that genetic information, when it is transcribed by that of your tRNA, that forms a amino acid here. In the same way, you have got an amino acid called as methionine here. Again, once this is completed here, there is another tRNA approaching to the E site. So until the formation of your methionine, that is your initiation part. In case of initiation, what you can write it here is, first one, a start codon. There is a start codon is found in case of your mRNA, and second one, methionine is released. This will be a initiation part here. And what about the elongation part? When the elongation part has to start up, there is an additional tRNA or the next tRNA approaches to your A site here. Second tRNA to A site. That is the site of attachment. Again, this particular tRNA will check the nucleotide. What kind of code is found in that particular mRNA, and there is a production of your next amino acid. According to the found codon here, it will find another amino acid. Let's check an X-axis. It may be any amino acid out of 21 amino acids which is found in case of our humans. Any amino acid can be coded in that particular place. So once this is formed here, there is a formation of your second amino acid. So I told you the end product will be our proteins here, and the end product proteins will be found in the long chain. How? In this format, there is a long polypeptide chain of proteins will be found here. So what happens once there is a second tRNA approaching your A site, this tRNA which is found in P site will move to your E site here. Whichever the tRNA is found here, that will be moved to your E site. As this moves here, there is a vacancy in the P side. This will move to the P side, forming a chain. And methionine is the first one. Again, the XOXX. This is the second one. Like this, they goes on continuing. This is the procedure of your elongation. So what happens? There is a continuous intake of a tRNA into your A side and movement of the tRNA from P side to E side. That is exit side. When the function of this tRNA is completed, they will move away. When the function is completed, they will just move away from the E side here, releasing the space for the other tRNAs to approach here. This is about your elongation part here. In case of elongation, what happens? Second tRNA is approached to your A side and second point, movement of tRNA from your P side to E side. This is your thing happening in the elongation. And what is the last one? That is called as termination. And once there is a formation of your terminator codon, UAA, there is a terminator codon called as UAA. Once the terminator codon is approached in case of this mRNA, the complete process stops. First one. Second point is release of the apparatus. So what happens? They will release. This will be your subunit, smaller subunit, larger subunit. This mRNA will be released here and tRNAs will also be released here. Like this, whatever all the components which are responsible for this translation to occur will be released out. It is in the form of a complete apparatus that will be released in the form of separate units with a complete protein chain. This will be a end product. This is nothing but your translation here. So I have a brief ideology, that is transcription, this one is translation. The process of conversion of DNA into RNA can be called as your transcription, and that RNA will be converted into your proteins, that can be called as what? Translation here. And these two will be an important concept for the examination purpose. And then when they ask you about biosynthesis of proteins, please go with this translation part. When they ask you about biosynthesis of proteins, tell them about translation. What do you mean by translation and what are the three different steps of translation, and you just go on explaining the three different steps of your translation here.